Alright, Mercenaries additional orders the castle. How to triple S rank with all 3 DLC characters. Now, if you're playing the castle as Chris Redfield, I believe it is possible for you to only have 25,000 lei, so I'm not going to go below 15,000 to sort of simulate this as replicatable in case that is the situation you're in. So I'm going to sell all of my rifle ammo, my dragoon, and my flash grenades, just like I did for the village level. I'm going to dump all of my money into my handgun power. In case I did do the math wrong, then you would just skip the reload speed and the ammo capacity upgrades, but this should put you at exactly 0 if you are at the absolute minimum. Then I'm going to shortcut my hand grenade to 2 and pull it out immediately because the first enemy is going to be a soldat jet and I need to pop the armor. Boop. Pull out the handgun. Just keep aiming at the heart. Put the hand in the way, but you can just knock it out by continuing to shoot. And I'm going to run and grab the money and then turn back around. So, as far as the power-ups go, I'm not going to actually be grabbing any of them myself because I want this run to be replicatable and not have you thinking like, oh, well, you know, they got like the headshot power-up, so they cleared a little bit faster. And I still want to run at them because I don't want you to think that I'm like saving time by skipping all these power-ups, and they are sort of the more fun aspect of doing the mercenary mode, you know, making it a little bit more roguelike than what we had in like RE4, for example. Ah! He's not supposed to be there, I don't think. Okay, so take that guy out, get this power up, turn around, take out this Maroika, and then 9 out of 19 is what you want to be at before you head up to the second floor. So I believe these are called Maroikas. The spelling on it is a little complicated, and I went to the Resident Evil Village wiki to see if there was a pronunciation for it. I found out a little bit of lore about them. They are based off of Moroi, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. It's a Romanian kind of vampire. And I hope I'm saying that one right because that's not what I'm basing my pronunciation off of. But these are all women. The Maroika are all women because that is what the Dimitrescus like to experiment on. Should be a wolfman coming barreling down the stairs right there. Yep. And then we'll grab this that we didn't get earlier. Continue up the stairs. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. You know, I was calling them like rates when I wasn't using the official names, but I do like Maroika now that I think I know how to say it. And then these 2 final wolfmen. Whew. Sometimes this one won't come barreling out at you. He'll kind of hug this corner. So just, you know, something to be aware of. Moving on to the next area, we are once again going to sell everything associated with our rifle, which is quite a lot of rifle ammo at this point. And then we're just going to pump some more upgrades into the handgun, I believe. Yeah, this will put us all the way to almost max ammo capacity. And yeah, we've got a little bit of 5,000 left over, not going to worry about it. So this one, you have a couple options. You can head outside first, in which case you're going to have to clear out a bunch of enemies, double back, and then they'll spawn again. You kind of have to like run through it, then do the castle, but the end point is out there. So what I've been doing lately is going to the castle first, and what's going to happen is all of the enemies outside are still going to spawn, but they're going to funnel into the castle. So I don't have as many enemy death breakpoints in terms of like, okay, yeah, you know, 20 enemies are dead, you need to move on to the next area type of thing. I don't really have that for this level, but what I do have is the idea that it doesn't matter because all of the enemies are going to have to funnel through the castle in order to get you, because there are only 8 enemies that start in the castle, so those are all already dead. Now everything from here on out are enemies coming in from the outside, so you really can't miss them. I haven't had any problems where I missed an enemy while doing this pathing, and I sincerely hope that that is consistently replicatable for everybody else as well. We'll certainly do it with Heisenberg and Dimitrescu as well. The same pathing. I haven't run into a level yet where I need to path differently for any specific character. Just make sure no one's downstairs. Hey, don't duck me. You could use a hand grenade here, you could use flash grenades. You're never going to see me use a flash grenade. I'm just not, I don't know, I guess just not who I am. Or I don't find myself in situations where I need them, but I'm not going to sell them just in case it's a playstyle that you enjoy. So the one breakpoint I do have for you is 32 is where you kind of want to be as you're rounding this bend. And that should be enough to, yeah, this guy's going to come up here, shoot the barrel with all of the Samkas. Take out those 2, and then there should be one more guy coming out. Yep. Move your hands. Alright. So now you can go pick up all the money, run over here, grab this power up, Still gonna get a triple S. Doesn't really matter. Basically, as long as you combo kill all of the enemies and pick up all of the hourglasses, you're gonna get a triple S. I'm not trying to teach you how to get a world record pace here. Maybe someday, but for now, we just want to get you the cool lightsaber, I think, is what most people are playing the Mercenaries for. Again, I'm gonna sell the large crystal, sell all of our rifle ammo. That's gonna make us really rich. I'm actually just gonna purchase 2 of the target locators and get my last ammo capacity upgrade. I believe my... nope, the flashbang's there, so I'm just going to shortcut this. I'm not going to use it on this area, but I am going to use it on the next one. So you definitely don't have to buy the target locators yet. I just kind of like to spend all my money, and it also means that I don't have to spend anything next round. So 4 enemies, you head into the main foyer. Moroika is going to spawn out of the ground. You can come over here and get this clock. The first daughter's going to spawn. Just fire some bullets into her. You know, make sure that you're not dropping your combo by taking out some of the enemies while you're still shooting her. And then we are looking for 13 enemies dead before we move to the outside. 11, yep, there come the last 2. Oop, there we go. So now we can head outside. I'm just going to equip a hand grenade and immediately throw it because enemy is going to be spawned. Oh, did I really screw up the timing that bad? So there is an hourglass over there. We actually don't have to grab it. It's kind of out of the way and pretty inconvenient. Once we're at 21, then the Samka should spawn. They're the birds. So, you know, they're kind of hard to hit. There's the third one. There it is. And I think the idea is that you go get that hourglass while you're killing them, but I don't find it worth it. Still get the triple S rank without it. Then we're gonna run into the piano room. We're just waiting for a soldat to drop from the ceiling. He always sounds like he's coming, and there he is. You just have to shoot him in the leg after you use the hand grenade on him. He's gonna live with a sliver of health. Okay, there should be one guy coming in from over... There he is. There's 2 of them. I think that's... sometimes only 1 comes, sometimes 2 come. It's a little bit RNG as far as I can tell. And it actually does mean... if you get both of them coming, you need to move a little quicker through this area and potentially skip a power-up, because there's only 4 enemies up here. Once you're at 41, you're going to head into the final room. And so I'm not going to go get that time bank. I'm just going to take out that one. And then I'm going to move into this final area. You can go back for the time after you clear out this area if you want, but it is just important that you maintain your combo. And if the 2 of them don't come through the back door, if only one of them comes through the back door, then the second one is going to be waiting for you around right here. Just take everybody else out. Now, you can go back for the money, you can go back for the time. I don't find it necessary because I'm actually not even going to buy anything this time around. I only need the 2 target locators in order to sort of do everything that I want to do. But you do have an insane amount of money if you want to, like, play around with some other stuff. Like, you know, I'll grab an energized gun here and move on to the last area. So, you don't have to move at all here. You can just... stay in this spawn point until you have killed 10 enemies. That is what we're looking for. Magic number 10. It should be 2 Soldat Jet and a large Lycan as far as the sort of mini-bosses, I guess you could call them. Yeah, so here comes the large Lycan. Here's the Soldat Mines coming down the stairs. Cool. I'm going to equip my target locator. I'm going to start charging it up as soon as I see the doll. So, you actually can't stab the doll unless you are Ethan, I found out. I tried running up on it as Chris, and I just didn't have the option to press F to knife it like you do for Ethan. So, kind of just, you know, good to use the target locator there. Now, quite a few flaming Moroika are going to spawn in this room, as well as a few Soldat Ions. Just try to make sure that you're staying away from the manger spawn point so you don't just, like, kind of get grabbed. And then once we're at 21, I believe, is the let's move on point. I don't even know why I'm grabbing that money, but then a Lycan should drop from the roof. Pop him. Moroika waiting for you on the stairs here. Pop her. Another Maroika starting to stand up. Grab my rifle ammo. I like to go to the left first. Take out this lichen. Because there are some weird spawns if you deviate from the pathing. Like there's a lichen that's going to spawn on the other side. So when we come back through here, this Maroika I don't believe is here if you just immediately run to the right. And then a lichen will spawn over there that we'll get to in a second. Take out the sold out hinds, get out this lichen. And then this is the guy I was talking about. Doesn't spawn until you actually move over to the left after moving to the right. So again, it's important to follow the pathing. They lay it out for you here. You know, these Maroikas leading me over to this area. Another Maroika making sure that I don't drop my combo. Another Maroika making sure I don't drop my combo. And then you can run in here for a hand grenade. Another time bank. Then you can equip said hand grenade and immediately chuck it to take out 2 large lichens. Or at least almost do it. Then grab this power up while you wait for the other 2 lichens to drop from the ceiling. And then this is where you need to be careful. There are 2 bluebirds, one here and one here. And you do need to kill both of them in order to keep your combo going. So you don't want to run out guns blazing on that one. And as we come down here, it's just going to be a graveyard full of flaming Maroika. 40 out of 54 is what you want to be at before you start intercepting them. And it's just going to take a while. Be careful where you stand because some of them are going to spawn behind me here. I believe another one spawns like right there. Right there. But it is just all flaming Maroika until the Soldat Panzer comes out. Okay. So I'm just going to drop a target. And that should be a triple S. Nice. Alright, on to the castle of Karl Heisenberg. Now, I've been workshopping this initial build a little bit. Because the first enemy in Area 1 is a Soldat Panzer, my usual saw blade strategy is really awkward for that initial fight. It doesn't really matter if the first fight is awkward because you don't have a combo that you need to worry about dropping. But to deal with the Panzer specifically, I've been going for maxing out electric charge rate and going speedy swing. And what I'm going to do is equip my flash grenade, come in here. I've got this down to a science, trust me. So you see him, flashbang him immediately. We're going to hit him 3 times with the hammer. That's going to be it fully charged. We're going to ground slam. We're going to flashbang a second time, and then it should be 4 swings of the hammer, and he is dead. We got our money. We're running with it. Pick up this time bank, and then over here, we're just going to ground slam right here, and that is going to take out this Maroika, as well as one on the other side of the wall. Oh, that's a flashbang. I wanted to switch to the saw blade. That's fine. So now I'm just going to use like a mix of the saw blade and the hammer sort of for the remainder of this area. Pretty low stakes here. You can charge up your hammer slam with Maroika that you find on the ground. This area you just kind of clear by hitting the barrel. And then I'm not grabbing power-ups because I don't want you to think that the run is dependent on them in any way. I also want to still go get them so that you don't think I'm cheating on time by skipping over them or anything along those lines, and that they are one of the more fun aspects of the Mercenaries, so I highly encourage you to grab them. I just don't want you to question the integrity of this walkthrough because I did, so do that, kill this one with, I'm just going to use a saw blade, and then, okay, large lichen is dealt with, so we're going to grab this power up, turn around, should be a lichen coming out of the stairwell any second here. I'm gonna grab this crystal fragment, and now there's only 3 left. One's gonna be right here, a little bit more to the right than I expected. And the last 2, of course, in this room. You can usually get them to line up here, and a fully charged saw blade will take them both out in one go. So if you watched my walkthrough for the village level, I like to start off Heisenberg by maxing out the saw blade, and with this sort of modified build to deal with the Panzer, once you sell all your treasure, you still have enough money to max out the saw blade for the next area. So I like that. And then I'm going to equip the saw blade, don't forget. Now there's 2 paths you can go here. This one involves like some doubling back, but it's like safer math. There's more checkpoints here. It's a little bit of a free-for-all. But because nearly every enemy spawns outside and they have to funnel through the castle, I have yet to have a run where I missed enemies by going through the castle first. You just don't have as many checkpoints, per se. Yeah, there's a Morika to the right. Sometimes a Lycan comes out of there as well. Sometimes, yeah, he's up here at the top of the stairs. And I want to mention that at this stage of the game, with a fully upgraded saw blade, you only need 2 charges on the saw with a body shot to one-tap the Moroikas and the Lycans. So we're going to go over here, get the power up, one-tap that. Ooh. Okay. Okay, there we go. It took a little bit longer than I was hoping, but... So now, enemies are going to be constantly kind of funneling through this hallway. Once the stream of them stops, we're going to move on. If you want to farm up your hammer here, this is a good place to do it. You just want to make sure that your combo continues on. You get 15 seconds in between kills, so you can kind of take a breath to see if they're still coming down the hallway at you. You just don't want to, like, get grabbed coming out of this room. It's a little awkward. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was anyone on the right. And this is where the saw blade really shines, shredding through multiple enemies at once. I saw you slip off to the left there. I'm going to charge my hammer on this one so that I have a slam available. So the one checkpoint that I do have on this route is you want 32 enemies dead, and then you can grab this time over here on the side, and then move around the final bend. We're at 32. It means we're on pace. We've killed everyone. We haven't missed anything. Should be one Lycan coming up the hill and take them out, and then throw a saw blade at the barrel. Which is going to do a great job of damaging these soldats as well. So you can finish off this one, and run up here, just slam this last guy. And run up here, grab your power up, turn around, make sure you get all the money, because we actually are a little money dependent on this run. Okay, I did get everything.
If it's just looking, window shop away.
So we're going to sell everything. Actually, I lied. We don't need money anymore. Once you get the upgraded saw blade, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to purchase an iron will, the SOS. I'm going to upgrade my hammer swing a little bit just because I'm using it. Then we're going to move on. So on Area 3, 2 charge body shots of the saw blade no longer one tap the fodder. Those are both headshots. That's why they did that. So I'll show you here. Gonna leave them with a sliver of health. So things get a little bit more complicated here. You can come through, grab your upgrade. Gonna have Morika coming out of the ground. Pretty easy to headshot that one. I'm gonna get this and turn around. And I'm just gonna drop my strum here. It's not even strum. I've been calling it strum this entire time. It's not. I think that's a jet. And then at 13 enemies, then we're going to move on to the next area. I'm going to equip a flashbang and pretty immediately throw it out here. Oh. She hadn't spawned yet, so I didn't get her. Oh, she's just wildly swinging at me. So 3 charges of the hammer, and then we're ready for a slam. That is going to take out a lot of the enemies in this area. Pretty easy to get headshots when they're running up the staircase at you, so you can use that to your advantage, but of course, you know, if you need to, go ahead and do the other thing. And, of course, the slam's still effective at one-shotting these enemies. Once you're at 21, then the Skooma, I believe they're called, will start spawning. Samkas, that's what they're Samkas. And you actually only need a 1-charge body shot to hit the Samkas, and it's a pretty forgiving hitbox. Okay, or you could hit him with a hammer. Either one works. So we're going to come into the piano room, where we're just kind of waiting for this Soldat jet to drop down. And then there's a little bit of RNG in this section that I'll highlight as soon as it becomes relevant. Okay. So we get our slam off. Oh, I actually killed him. Sometimes he takes one more hit. I'm just going to charge it up again. So what we want to be looking for now is how many Morika come through this back door. Could be 1, could be 2, and it changes the run a little bit depending on what the actual number is. I don't think it's 0. Maybe it is 0, or maybe 1 came through already and I missed it. 35, yeah, I guess none of them came through. So we're gonna run upstairs. It's gonna be a couple Lycans. And 1 Morika standing here. We're going to take all of them out. Okay, yeah, neither Moroika came through the back there. So it actually is 0 or 2. And essentially all that it does is they're going to be at the top of the stairs here. Which means I can take them out before heading into the final room. If both of them come through the back door, you just have to be a little bit quicker through this area. And then I can drop my jet in here. Nope. Getting all turned around. So yeah, that's the little bit of RNG in the run, is how many Moroika come through the back door. If they don't come through, whichever ones don't come through the back door are just going to be at the top of the stairs, which gives you a little bit more time to sort of keep up your combo.
Good. I was just thinking of ways to pass the time. These hands are more dexterous.
I guess I'll just fully upgrade my hammer, call it a day, and move on. So from this starting position, you need to kill 10 enemies. It will be 7 fodder, Moroika and Lycans, 2 Soldads Y, and 1 large Lycan, the large ones being the armored ones. If you want, you can charge up your hammer a little bit here. As far as I can tell, your charge will never fall off your hammer. So you can charge it up whenever you want, and then, you know, ground slam whenever. Showing that exposed target. Cool. I'm not messing around with Angie here. I'm just going to drop my jet. I'm going to drop my jet. Okay. And I'm just going to jet Angie. In here, it's just a lot of flaming Moroikas. It is nice. The one other nice thing about the saw blade is that you kind of can't get grabbed and you block projectiles, because the saw blade spinning in air actually does deal damage. It's a negligible amount, but it does stagger the enemies. I believe 21's the magic number to move on to the next area. Yeah, there's the next floor. That was funny. And again, even a non-charged slam will deal quite a bit of damage to these guys. Get your arm out there. Yeah. So once we're at... Oh, he didn't go down. Okay. Once we're at 21, we can move up here. There's going to be a Lycan coming down from the ceiling. And then a Moroika sitting on the stairs here. I like to go to the left first because the spawns get a little funky if you go right first. Ah! Forgot about him. Then there's a Moroika on the ground over here. That wasn't a headshot? Okay. Now, there's a Moroika on the ground. And I believe you have to run over to pick up the money. I'm not totally sure on that. And then that'll spawn a Lycan archer up on the balcony that we just want to take out before moving on. Coming down the stairs, we've got a Moroika coming up, a Moroika on the ground. It's a nice little path of bodies to lead you in the next area. It's rather intuitive. It's going to be a Moroika on the ground here, and then a Moroika on the ground here, which I am going to charge up my hammer with. I think you actually move a little faster while your hammer is charged as well, so just kind of something to keep in mind. Then we're going to come out to 2 large Lycans, which I'm going to ground slam immediately. Grab this power up while you wait for the next 2 Lycans to come down. Oopsie. Alright, screwed that up a little bit. So I'm just going to charge up my hammer on him. Oh my gosh. He's ducking and dodging, bobbing and weaving. So, this is important. There's 2 bluebirds, and they are necessary to kill. Now, you want this one to be in, like, the upper half of your circle. You can't just dead on the second one. But, you know, just something to keep in mind. And then from here on out, it's all flaming Moroika until the Panzer comes out. And you got to be careful about where you stand, because some of them will spawn kind of back here. So if you're, you know, like approaching the graveyard to get at them a little faster, some of them can spawn behind you. I'm going to ground slam here to see if you them out. I didn't actually get that far one. And I'm just saving my jet for the final sort of mini-boss-ish enemy. The one that's not fodder, I guess, is the best way to put it. And he'll be coming out of that castle gate once we get to, I think, like 52 dead. Yeah, there he is. So we're just going to jet him. Doesn't kill him. So we're going to flashbang him. Charge up our hammer on him, and then finish him off for a triple S. And a new record. So the castle with Alcina Dimitrescu. Nothing too fancy in terms of the build here. Knowing that we're going up against a Soldat Panzer, we're not really adjusting anything. Going with my usual build, which is maxing out thrill value, followed by power on the claws. We'll get almost all the way there before we head out for the first fight. So I'm going to start off by popping lipstick, so that I get half my thrill bar. And the way that we're going to deal with the Panzer, so we're going to throw the insects to pop the helmet, and then after 3 claw attacks, we'll have enough to ornate vanity. So 1, 2, 3, and R. And boom. Simple as that. We're going to come through here. We've got thrill active, so we're moving a little bit quicker. Dealing a little bit more damage. You do have to, like, crouch to deal with some of the Maraikas that are on the ground, because you are, you know, 12 feet tall. And it's a little embarrassing when you just miss because your claws are still 8 feet off the ground or something like that. Let's come through here. Lycan's right there. And we're just going to insect the barrel because you actually can't hit the barrel with your claws. And then I'm going to run up to the power-up. I'm not going to grab it. I like to path towards the power-ups so that you can grab them because I think they are really fun and interesting. But I don't want you to think the run is reliant on them, so I do not grab them. Gotta crouch to get up the staircase and crouch to get out of the staircase, and then I'm gonna stay crouched so we can take out that Maraika. There's another crouched one over here, but this one we can stand up for as it's gonna start to stand up. And then take out this guy and use the ornate vanity, take out Lycans, and then we can grab this power up while we wait for this guy to come barreling down the stairs. Sometimes he just sits at the top. He's a little finicky. And then we have to crouch to get in, sprint to the top, crouch to get out, and then take that guy out. And then there's 2 in this room. This guy's here, and then that one on the right. And we are good to move on. So my tried and true here for this second area is I like to upgrade the power on my nails, and I like to get Thrill Keeper, so that I have a little bit more time in my thrill.
Please come again.
So we're going to pop some lipstick. We're going to head down the usual path in the castle. Now there is something worth noting here that's specific to Dimitrescu. So the reason that I go to the right instead of the left is because while most of the enemies spawn outside and I don't get as many checkpoints going to the right, I kind of trust that because most enemies spawn outside, they need to come through the castle, and we'll just kind of get in a choke point. Now, for most characters, once you take out this Maraika on the right and you hit 5 out of 24, you're good to go up the stairs. But with Lady Dimitrescu specifically, this 6th one comes out of that area, and you need to make sure that you deal with them, or you're going to miss it, you're going to drop your combo. And while a triple S rank is still possible, if you drop your combo, I don't think it makes for a good tutorial video for me to drop the combo, so I have to always be cognizant of that. Just use an ornate vanity here. And because you don't have like a flinch mechanic as Lady Dimitrescu, you can kind of just face check a little bit more liberally as you go through the remainder of this castle, and not worry about like dropping your combo. So the one checkpoint I do have is that you want to get to 32 out of 40. And that is how you know that you've completely cleared the castle without missing any enemies. And you want to do that by the time you get to this bonus time that is up on the right here. So with this Lycan, we are at 32 out of 40. We have not missed any enemies in the castle. We're completely clear. We are on pace to full combo the run. And we can actually just summon a daughter here, because it's nice to have someone to kiss on the forehead before we end our run. Chokeslam that guy. Watch her take out all the birds. Then we're going to run over here and grab a power-up before moving on to the third area. Yes, yes. So at this point, what you get doesn't matter too much. I'm going to start upgrading my Ornate Vanity because I believe you need at least one power-up on the power of it in order to one-shot Angie in Area 4. But for Area 3, it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to pop another Lipstick because I like to get Thrill active early. I'm going to start taking these guys out. These women out. Actually, the Marika are all women. Because that is what Dimitrescus feed on, or experiment on, specifically. A little bit of lore for you. So we actually have a lot of checkpoints in the castle. 4 out of 48 is when you want to move into this area, but you're also not really at risk of, like, missing spawns, so the checkpoints aren't as important, unless you really want to be tracking, like, okay, when do I need to do this? I'm going to throw the Ornate Vanity. 13 out of 48 is when you are good to move on to the outside. There's a lot of areas that you can spawn your daughter. I'm not going to be doing it because it's been throwing off my checkpoints a little bit. You have to wait a little bit for her to materialize before you throw the Ornate Vanity here. But you should be able to get the one shot. And then once we're at 21 out of 48 is when we are going to get the Samka spawns, which is birds. 21, or 20, now we're at 21. So the Samkas spawn, they're a little bit hard to hit with the insects, but luckily they have to come to you, and you can just kind of sit here and spam your claws, and eventually they'll run into it. Alright, 24 out of 48 is when we are good to move into this area, where we are just kind of waiting for this Soldat jet to jump down on us so we can throw the foyer at it. And there's a little bit of RNG here, where you need to watch this back door, because there are 2 Morikas that are sitting on the staircase out there, and they are in front of the final room. And you only want one of them to come through. But you do need to be cognizant if the second one does, so that you can book it a little bit further along. Sometimes none of them come through. Okay, here he comes. Or here she comes, rather. And I like to use the insect because I think walking over there is what triggers the second one coming through sometimes. That should be enough damage. So at 36 out of 48, if one Marika came through the back door, that is when you are good to go. And then you can clear out all of these lichens. This Marika. Grab the time. Move on. You're at 40 out of 48, and then the Marika that didn't come through the door should be right here at the top of the stairs. You can see their sword, actually. And then 40 out of 48 is when you can move into the final room. And use my vanity, summon my daughter, because again, this is a use it or lose it mechanic. You don't progress the thrill bar into the second area. And I like to have someone to kiss on the forehead when I finish my run. So, mwah.
Naturally.
So here I'm just going to finish out upgrading my Ornate Vanity. And we're going to move on. Alright, so there's 10 enemies in this initial room. And it's going to be 3 large ones. 2 of these Soldat Eins and 1 large Lichen. And you can just choke slam these, you know, pretty straightforward. Actually gonna pop some lipstick. And I'm just choke slamming the big guys. It's fun. I really like the animation that they have for this. And okay, yeah, I even got that one. So at 10, you're good to move into the next room. You really want to try and line up the Ornate to land on Angie for the one shot. That's gonna work. And then we're just going to chill in this room for a bit, taking out a lot of these flaming Marikas. A couple of Soldat Eins are going to be walking in from the side as well. I don't even know if I need to drink this. A little choke slam action. A little claw action. A little more choke slam action. Okay. A little bit more choke slam action. And at 21 out of 54, you are good to move back up to this main room. Take out the Lycan. That... Oh, gotta take him out a little bit better than that. And then move up here. Take out this Marika. And then I like to go to the left first instead of the right. I don't think it really matters too much. I need to stop using the double claw attack because I'm knocking these people down. It's throwing things off. So, you can run past this archer and try to take him out with the insect later, but sometimes I drop my combo because I just miss with the insect because I don't have a crosshair. And because this Soldat will follow you down the hallway, it's pretty easy to just maintain your combo if you go melee that Wolfman archer. Whoa. That was a little weird. So, got 31 out of 54. Follow the trail of bodies that have been so nicely laid out for you. And then at 34 out of 54 is when we are good to move into the final area. I'm just going to throw my Ornate at these large Lycans. Grab this power up while you wait for the two other Lycans to fall down. There they are. And then this is where I summon my daughter, because there's two bluebirds out there, and if you miss one with your insects, then you are actually in for a pretty rough time. So your daughter is guaranteed to just home in on those and take it out. And then we just make it to the final area, which is this graveyard that's going to summon a bunch of flaming Maroikas. And we still have our daughter active. They're going to be doing a lot of work here. And just watch out because a couple of them might spawn behind you depending on where you're standing. So just be cognizant of that. And we're just waiting for the final Soldat jet to come out so that we can throw our living room chair at him. Oh, there they are. They were underneath of me the entire time. And there you go. New record even.